the journey of God's first and chosen people. Welcome, viewers, to the journey of God's first and chosen people through the annals of time. From deep inside the heart of Africa, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus, to the ancient land of Ta-SETI, where God consecrated his first and chosen people with sacred divine spirituality, with the divine kingships of Usir and Heru. Today, we explore these early divine origins from Adam's calendar, Nabta Playa, to the undeniable evidence of African cultural heritage embedded in the Qustul incense burner. This remarkable artifact has unveiled the pharaonic origins and the early civilizations that created Kush in ancient Egypt, thousands of years before the first dynasty of ancient Egypt. Join us on this fact-laden adventure as we delve into the divine origins of African culture with the sacred mathematical brilliance at Adam's calendar and Nabta Playa that created Ta-SETI, Kush, and ancient Egypt. The full brilliance of our cultural heritage story begins in Ta-SETI, the birthplace of the Kushites and the Kemites, also known as the Nubians. In this sacred land, the Qustul incense burner was discovered at a Qustul royal cemetery, offering a glimpse into the early beginnings of our civilizations that now shines an indelible light on African and human history. This consecrated spiritual instrument, adorned with pictographs of the sacred Medu Neter language, is a testament to our divine origins. As we explore its intricate details, we uncover a rich tapestry of culture, spirituality, and the emergence of the early Kushites in now new recorded history, with a rich spiritual culture predating all other civilizations on Earth. But the journey starts at Adam's calendar, a calendar and astronomical circle that dates back to about 75,000 BC. Here, the Africans discovered and mapped triads of stars in the Orion and Canis Major constellations, giving birth to their ideas of the power of triangles, an integral element in their mathematical inventions detailed in innumerable papyri like the Rand Papyrus and the Berlin Papyrus. The Africans, masters of ratios in pi, the royal cubit, and sacred geometry, by translating these cosmic insights into the construction of their pyramids. The Rhind Papyrus and Berlin Papyrus reveal the depth of their mathematical prowess, laying the foundation for geometry, metrics, algebra, percentages, decimals, and even 3D calculations. A legacy that migrated from South and West Africa to Ta-SETI, then Kush and Kemet. Our journey continues to Nabta Playa calendar and astronomical circle, built around 8,000 to 12,000 BC by the Ta-SETI Africans. Their astronomical observations of the stars and studies expanded to the northern constellations, eventually influencing the beginning of the construction of the pyramids in 2600 BC and the Great Sphinx in Kemet around 8000 BC. The Africans, guided by a sacred divine spirituality, erected monumental structures like pyramids, obelisks, and temples. These religious edifices are in honor of the supreme God. These edifices stand as timeless symbols of the zenith of African culture and heritage from 3000 BC to 2000 BC. Triads of stars in Orion and Canis. Major constellation inspired the concept of the Triad of Gods, leading to the formation of divine dynasties. The Nile Delta, shaped like a triangle, became a symbol of wealth and prosperity for the Kushite Kemites, fostering trade and cultural exchange with the Mediterranean. The Triad of Gods also inspired the thought of the Triad of the Blue Nile from Lake Tana in Ethiopia, the White Nile from Lake Nalubale from Tanzania, and the Yellow Nile from Lake Chad, now extinct, that fed the Iteru, now called the Nile River. The pivotal Qustul incense burner is a spiritual instrument and a symbol of reverence and divinity. It was discovered in a royal tomb at Qustul. Its pictographs reveal a divine monarchy, sacred boats, and regalia of pharaohs, generations before Kemet, challenging historical facts and timelines of many Egyptologists of the day, including scholars and historians. This artifact emphasizes Ta-SETI's monumental role in shaping the course of the civilizations in Kush and ancient Egypt. With undeniable, these invaluable catalog of facts for the world to see, that Africans practiced sacred divine spirituality and God worship thousands of years before the Bible. That Africans invented languages and the pictographs of the sacred Medu Neter, language itself, proving that Ta-SETI invented Medu Neter before Kush and Kemet. Africans invented Serek's ornamental vignette, proving the existence of a palace facade and a royal courtyard generations before the first dynasty of Egypt. Invented rosettes, Serek, royal emblems, looking like the Rosetta Stone the Kushites used in Kush and Kemet. This Rosetta Stone was used by the French and British to decipher the Medu Neter language, which some scholars and historians refer to Medu Neter as a series of codes. Wrong. It is a sacred language inspired by God. Archaeologists Keith Steele and Professor Bruce Williams of the Oriental Institute at Chicago University unearthed Nubian A-group rulers at Qustul, Kush in 1963. The discovery, made in a Nubian cemetery's royal tomb, labeled L24, sheds light on much of African history and civilizations before Kush and Kemet. Williams and Steele discovered the incense burner and determined that it is distinctively Nubian in form, carved in the distinct technique of Nubian rock art, and it was decorated on the rim with typical Nubian designs. It was found in the tomb of a Nubian ruler at Qustul, Ta-SETI. It incorporates images associated with the pharaohs later adapted and depicted in ancient Kemet or Egypt. But the incense burner proved that pharaohs first appeared in Nubia or Kush, and that it was the Kushites who built ancient Kemet and the pyramids, obelisks, and other temples and monuments. It shows a procession of sacred boats, clearly indicating sacred divine spirituality, with a king wearing the white crown, clearly indicating and proving the existence of royalty, later adapted in Kush and Egypt. The incense burner shows a falcon deity of Heru and lion deity, clearly indicating God worship, and the palace facade called a Serek, emblems or the regalia, indicating a royal court. Bruce Williams argued in 1987 that the archaeological data shows Nubian linkages and influence, forging and fashioning pharaonic civilization in Ta-SETI. The size and wealth of the tombs were also described as vastly greater than that of the well-known Abydos tombs in ancient Egypt. They are the oldest tombs of a pharaonic type ever found anywhere, and these 33 A-group tombs appear in Nubia before 3100 BC, the beginning of the dynastic period of ancient Egypt. Cemetery L at Qustul, tombs of A-group. The excavators said nothing like this has ever been found or seen in ancient Egypt. At 4000 to 5000 BC, at that early date, there were not supposed to have been any such things as pharaohs or kings or palaces. It is a relief of a royal procession considered by many archaeologists as evidence of the world's first monarchy. Ta-SETI, developed as early as 7000 BC, formed the source for ancient Egyptian pharaonic culture, as well as ancient Egyptian religious system. Contrary to the Bible and Noah in Genesis 9, Africans are not, and was never, a slave or servant culture. As you can now see the facts, Africans have proven spiritual and regal cultural heritage, contrary to some Egyptologists, scholars, historians, academic institutions, including colleges and universities around the world. Portions of the Bible and history books should be rewritten or stricken in light of these undeniable facts. Additionally, contrary to the Bible, Africa is not a heathen culture that unanimously embraced paganism, idolatry, or a culture of sexual deviance, pursuing relations with our fathers and uncles. We are the first people and the chosen people whom the Creator God blessed and entrusted with sacred divine spirituality. Therefore, when we don't respond with an eye for an eye, it is because our sacred divine spirituality of forgiveness and redemption, instilled and passed to us by our ancient ancestors, like Heru, his father Usir, and his mother Iset, who in fact practiced these ideals and morals. Contrary to the Bible, we are indeed divinely overshadowed, even among those who may not yet be aware of it. We are divinely favored, and so we divinely accept our destruction and genocides as we work to help make this world a better place for all creatures, great and small. However, it's time for us to rise again to the heights of inventions for Earth's well-being. There is doubt that many love the world as it is, with wars, hate, and threat to life of global climate changes. All should nonetheless rise with us to make the world a better place for the next generations. As we conclude this episode, let the echoes of Ta-SETI's glory resonate through time and through us. The Qustul incense burner stands as our beacon, illuminating the path of a civilization that, despite the challenges of history, continues to inspire the resurgence of Africans. Join us in this continuing video series as we unravel more mysteries and celebrate the rich heritage of this sacred land.